Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Tamara Manuel, also known as Tamara the Realtor on all social media platforms. I wanted to come on because in 2020, I told myself in 2020 I would become more visible, more vigilant about putting out the information that people need to know in order to get approved for a mortgage loan. So I wanted to come on quickly and say this. If you are planning to purchase a home, no matter whether it's in the next 2 months or the next 2 years, you really do need to start thinking about and actually making some action steps towards getting prepared. If you plan to get FHA financing, there's 2 ways that you can get approved with FHA financing. You can either get approved with a DU approval, which is basically the computer. You put your information into the computer, and the computer likes you, the system likes you, and it gives you a thumbs up and says, yes, you have my approval. All right. That's going to mean you're going to go through less red tape. All right. There are a few more exceptions that are allowed if you get the DU approval or the system approval. However, even if the system does not like your credit profile, and sometimes it doesn't because your credit score may be too low, or because you have several collections or late pays or judgments, or maybe you have a bankruptcy, whatever the case may be, then you may have to do what's called a manual underwrite. And that basically just means you've got somebody that is an underwriter that is sitting behind a desk with your file in their hand. And if you want to envision them with a magnifying glass, because they are looking over your information and your documentation with a fine-tooth comb. They're picking over it to see if, or to make the determination if you should be approved for a mortgage loan. It's a lot more scrutiny if you go through a manual underwrite. Ask any loan officer and they will agree with this. There's more scrutiny, there's more red tape, there are more hoops to jump through if you have to go through a manual underwrite. So the best way to not have to go through a manual write is for your credit score to be where it needs to be. A 620 or higher is ideal. A 640 is ideal. A lot of people can get a system or DU approval with a 620. But if you have a score that's, in the very low 600s, under 600, keep in mind that middle score has to be at least a 580. But if you have low scores, chances are the computer is not going to approve you. The system will not like your credit profile. And so it'll kick it back. You can get an approval through a manual underwrite where an actual underwriter is looking at your file and they can approve you. But I can promise you, they're going to have a lot, it's going to be a little bit more strict. For example, if the system does not like you and you end up having to do a manual underwrite, you cannot have any late pays within the last 24 months. That means the last 2 years, you had to be on time with all your bills. All right. So it's really, really important. If you want to purchase a home within the next 2 years, you need to be building up your credit profile and your financial profile so that you look favorable to a computer. Getting that credit score up, making on-time payments, getting rid of old accounts that are just sitting there, damaging or lowering your score unnecessarily. So it's really, really important. There's so many pieces to this, but I can tell you right now, pay your bills on time every single month. If you've got to pay the minimum payment now, another thing that I could really go off on and talk about, go into and talk about is your debt to income ratio and how, because there's 2 things you got to get past. Getting approved, and then they got to determine how much they're going to approve you for. Well, all of that is going to be based on your debt. How much do you owe versus how much do you make? okay, which is called your DTI, or your debt to income ratio. But there's so many pieces to this, but I can tell you this right now. Pay your bills on time. Every single month, every single account. Get rid of old accounts that are not helping your credit. They're just sitting there. They are paid off, they're closed, whatever the case may be. I have a guy right now with Credible Concepts, Devrick Watson, that has a free credit repair program going on right now. And if you're interested, please reach out to me and I can put you in contact with him as a referral. But there are ways for you to clean up some of that old credit stuff. And it's going to be really, really important that you work on getting your credit to where it needs to be in order to get the approval. The system approval, that DU, direct underwriting approval, is so much easier than a manual underwrite. And you have less red tape to go through, less hoops to jump through in order to get your final approval. So let's start working on our credit. Okay, the credit is not going to fix itself. It's not going to fix itself. You are in charge, and the sooner that you deal with it, the sooner that you can be able to purchase that home that you've always wanted. I am free for home buying consultations. I would love to talk with you and to speak with you. Listen, I made a post just earlier today that basically said, me seeing your credit report or your income is like a gynecologist seeing a vagina. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Nothing is scary to me. Nothing is shocking to me. All I want you to do is let's work on getting it fixed. Let's work on getting those issues resolved so that we can get you into a house. You're happy, I'm happy, and then you can possibly even educate someone else. I would love to talk with you. Give me a call at 901-644-6408 if you are interested in setting up a consultation. I also have a link where you can go and set up an appointment online with me, and we can get you started. Sometimes your credit isn't as bad as what you think. I find that to be the case 50% of the time. People have been afraid for years, and they've felt that way unnecessarily. So I look forward to speaking with some of you really, really soon. Again, 644-6408. The website that you can go to schedule online is www.picktime.com/ready to sell or buy. And you can schedule a consultation with me that way. Let's get this done in 2020 so that you can be well on your way to home ownership. Thank you all so much for listening. And I'm looking forward to speaking with and meeting with some of you soon. Peace out. Happy Tuesday.